So today I just wanted to come on and go live, and I had a really important question that I wanted to ask you all. So, what is the story that you are telling yourself about you? In other words, what comes to mind when you ask yourself about you or when you think of you? The reason why I wanted to ask this question is because, unfortunately, research shows that the majority of women have found that it's normal to have negative thoughts about themselves, and they just feel it's normal. They think everyone does it. And meanwhile, this is the majority of women. I'm here to tell you guys that if this is you, if you are someone who has negative self-talk, negative thoughts about yourself, this doesn't have to be your truth, and this doesn't have to be your reality. So, your thoughts are the foundation of your reality. Your thoughts create your reality. And the reason this is because our thoughts have energy. Our thoughts are frequencies. So whatever we are thinking, that is producing our energy. Our energy is producing our vibration. And according to the law of attraction, that vibration attracts like vibration. So if you're operating at a certain vibration, you are going to attract the same vibration. So when we are operating at a low vibration, we are going to attract low experiences, low vibration in other people. So we're going to have low experiences, low relationships, these things that don't really give us the high frequency vibes or thoughts or feelings, right? So I want you to just ask yourself for a moment, what kind of relationship do you want to be having with yourself? Do you want to be having a relationship with yourself that is consisting of love, compassion, and gratitude for yourself? Or do you want to have a relationship where you are hating on yourself, judging yourself, and shaming yourself? Now, think about what your answer was. Did you say that you want to have a relationship with love, compassion, and gratitude? If so, ask yourself now, which of the two is true for you? Are you having the relationship? Are you building the relationship you really want with yourself? Or are you building a relationship of love, of hate, shame, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. And judgment. Are you building the relationship on hate, judgment, and shame? Meanwhile, you want a relationship of love, compassion, and gratitude for yourself. So really look at what did you say you wanted, and now be honest with yourself. What relationship are you building? How are you treating yourself? How do you think about yourself? Like I said, what is the story you tell yourself when you think of you? You know, are you complimenting yourself? Are you proud of yourself? Or are you tearing yourself down and beating yourself up and talking about the things that you do wrong? Or are you looking at your strengths? Are you diving deep into things that you find beautiful about you? So the easiest way for you to start turning this around, so if you want a positive, high vibration relationship with yourself, like I said, this is very possible. You can have it. It might take a little bit of work if you're on the lower end, if you're on the low vibration relationship with yourself. If you're used to hating on yourself and judging yourself and shaming yourself, it will take a little bit of work and some practice to get to the other side, but it is possible. And all you have to know is that it's possible. And if you don't know that it's possible for you, I want you to know that I hated myself for years. I don't think I ever loved myself until a couple of years ago when my healing journey began, and I finally started to switch the way that I would think about myself, talk about myself, and speak to myself. And not just in front of people. Of course, no one knew. Anyone who ever met me, they're like, oh, you're so confident, you know, if I posted a selfie or whatever, and I'm just like, I literally hate myself. I literally think that I'm like the worst and that I don't deserve anything good because nothing good ever happened. So like that was my vibration. That was the way that I thought about myself and I spoke to myself, especially when I was alone. I would look in the mirror and I would just look at myself with disgust, and I would criticize everything about my looks. I would criticize my behaviors, my attitudes, the situations that I would end up in. I would be very awful to myself. And it wasn't until I began my healing journey when I realized, treating myself this way is probably not cause, and I had no idea about the law of attraction. I had no idea about energy. I had no idea about any of this stuff. And I just finally started to question the way that I was treating myself, the relationship that I had with myself. And once I started to make this shift of treating myself with more kindness, and every time I would say something awful to myself, I would retract it. And I would correct it with something positive, a compliment. I would compliment myself on anything that I could find that I really felt it has to be a genuine compliment. So this is why affirmations can be so tricky. So if you feel like you're unworthy, or if you feel like you don't deserve anything, or that you're not good enough, and you start to try to affirm, I am worthy, I am good enough, but you don't really believe it, this can actually, unfortunately, make things worse for us, okay? It can actually send us on a spiral and make it worse, because our brain will be like, you're full of crap, and it'll actually make you feel more of the thing that you're trying to get away from. So, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tools and strategies here to help nourish the relationship you have with yourself so that you can start to get to a relationship of one of love and compassion and gratitude for yourself instead of one of hating, judgment, and shame. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of steps, and then I'm going to go back to what I was saying about the affirmations. So there's a loophole, okay? I want to teach you guys that because it's so important. It really changed the game for me, because we can't lie to ourselves. We can't say, so if we feel poor, or if we are poor, if we have $0 in the bank, right, and we want wealth, we can't sit here and tell ourselves, I'm wealthy, and our brain is like, bro, you've got $0 in the bank account, like you're not wealthy. It'll only make us feel more lack. It'll only make us feel more poor. So I'm going to give you guys the loophole to that. Instead of affirming the opposite, we've got to do something else. So I'm going to give you guys the loophole for that too. So the 3 steps, I'm going to give you 3 steps to start to nourish your relationship with yourself so it can be one of love, compassion, and gratitude. The first thing you're going to want to do, and these 3 things are just going to be 3 things you're going to want to do every day to build this relationship with yourself. So number 1, you're going to want to look in the mirror. And I don't mean look at your body, look at whatever. I really recommend looking into your eyes. Look into your soul, your divine being, into your soul. Really gaze into your eyes and say, I love you, in the mirror, over and over and over again, until you actually mean it. This might be weird at first. Oh, it'll probably be really weird at first. It was really weird the first time I did it. But do it until something starts to change, until something starts to shift, until you finally find your soul and you fall in love. And that, like I said, this takes practice and this takes time. So the first time you do it, if you do it for like 10 minutes, you're probably not going to fall in love with yourself immediately. But if you do it every day, and you look into your soul, and you see your soul a little bit more each day, and you say, I love you, chances are good, eventually over time, you're going to fall in love with yourself and your soul and who you really are. So that is a great daily habit to have to build a relationship of love with yourself. The next thing you're going to want to do, this is going to help you have more compassion for yourself and more gratitude for yourself. If you are in the mirror, or if you're just in general, in day to day, if you catch yourself criticizing yourself, whether it's your looks, your behaviors, the way that you talk to yourself, whatever it is that you find yourself criticizing yourself about, catch yourself criticizing yourself, and retract it and give yourself a genuine compliment instead. So this might take some journaling or some practice. You might need to figure out, what are the good things about you? What do you genuinely like about yourself? So that way, when things come up that you haven't learned to love yet, you can start to focus on the things you do love instead. And then it'll build up. And the more you focus on the things you do love about yourself, and of course, there are many tools. A lot of the things that I do with my clients is I really, really dive deeply into the things that they hate about themselves or they judge about themselves. And we turn that around real quick. Okay? My program is all about becoming whole again, and how I do that is I help you take the good parts of you, make them stronger, and then the things that you think are bad about you, and I turn them into your strengths so that you can, instead of shaming yourself and rejecting yourself, you become whole again because you accept all parts and aspects of you. So, of course, that's like, I try to do these trainings to help you guys as much as I can, but this is really an individual, personalized level. So that's why my program, it gets so individualized, it gets so personal and customized for my clients. But I try to do these trainings to help you guys as much as I can in a group scale. So when you catch yourself criticizing yourself, retract it, turn it into a compliment. Figure out what you do love about yourself, what you are grateful for about yourself, and focus on that instead. The third habit you're going to want to build daily is do more of the things that make you happy. Do the things that make you happy and stop doing things just because you think everybody else is going to be happy. So say no to the things that you don't want to do. Say no to the things that when you're asked to do them, you're not freaking excited to do it. You have a limited amount of time in a day. Let's spend it doing what makes you happy. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you are happy. And I have a guide. This is important. This comes to setting boundaries. You need to learn how to set boundaries. If you're saying yes to everything and everyone, and you're drained and you're not doing a lot of the things that are important to you, a lot of the things that are making you happy, that's a boundary issue. We've got to set healthy boundaries here. So this is also work that I do with my clients, but I made a free guide, a free resource. Most of you should have it because it's something that I offered when you first joined the group. But if you do not have my boundary setting guide, comment the word boundaries or comment the word guide, and I will send you that guide so that you have it, so that you can start to figure out what's really important to you, what really makes you happy, so you can spend your time doing the things that are going to make you happy. So the 3 habits again: fall in love with your soul. Stop criticizing yourself and start complimenting yourself, and do the things that make you happy. These are the 3 daily habits that you are going to want to incorporate into your life to start. Yes, Tronti, I will send that boundaries guide to you again. Okay, I'll send everybody who's commenting, we'll get the guide. So yeah, just comment boundaries or comment guide, and I will send you guys that guide as soon as I have the chance. Okay. So you're going to want to practice those 3 things to build a relationship with yourself, to start to nourish yourself, so that you have a solid foundation in self-love, compassion, and gratitude for yourself, so that you can move away from the vibration of self-hate and judgment and shaming yourself. We've got to stop rejecting ourselves, and we've got to start accepting ourselves. This is the only way we become whole. Yes, Tronti, I will repeat it, but if you want it, you're going to want to get it in detail, so you might just need to rewatch that part. But the main habits are, number 1, say I love you in the mirror daily. Fall in love with your soul. Number 2, when you are criticizing yourself, replace it with a compliment. Figure out what you love about yourself and replace it with a compliment. And then the third thing is do more of what makes you happy. So figure out what your boundaries are, figure out what's important to you, and only spend your time doing the things making you happy. Don't say no to everything else. If it does not excite you and make you happy, say no to everything else. So you'll practice those 3 things to build that secure foundation of love, compassion, and gratitude for yourself. Now I'm going to give you guys this bonus tip because this is huge. Okay, so if you are feeling poor, if you're feeling unworthy, if you're feeling whatever the negative is, and you are trying to feel the opposite. You're trying to feel wealthy, you're trying to feel worthy, you're trying to feel good enough, you're trying to feel beautiful, whatever. If you're feeling negative and you want to feel the opposite, but you just can't seem to, you're trying all the affirmations, you affirm to yourself, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am prosperous, I am beautiful, I am all these things, but you're not experiencing it, chances are good your subconscious and your conscious mind are rejecting the affirmation because you don't believe it. So if you have felt a negative way for so long and your conscious mind has felt that way, then your subconscious mind is programmed that way. So chances are good if you start to try to affirm the opposite, you're not going to believe it, and it's either going to neutralize it and nothing's going to happen, or it's going to make things worse because you're going to start to think about, this isn't true. You are poor, you are ugly, you are whatever, and it's going to set that in even deeper. So the loophole to this is, if there's anything that you're affirming to yourself that you do not believe, you are going to want to stop affirming that you are that thing because you don't believe it. So instead of affirming that you are the thing, just focus on the thing. So if you are trying to go from poor to wealthy, focus on wealth. So instead of trying to think in your mind, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, just think of wealth. Just be like, wealth, wealth. Imagine what wealth feels like. Imagine what wealth looks like. You don't have to tell yourself that you're wealthy. You just have to experience wealth. You have to think like wealth, be like wealth, and then you're going to start creating that energy of wealth, and then that's going to be your vibration. Your vibration is going to be wealth. And you're going to attract wealth to you because you're in the vibration of wealth. But if you're trying to affirm, I am wealthy, when you have no money in the bank account, then your brain is just going to be like, no, I'm actually really poor. And then that's going to be your frequency and nothing's going to change, or worse, it'll get worse. So the same goes. So you can do that with wealthy, abundant, beautiful, worthiness. You can do that with anything. So if you want more friends, don't say, I have friends. When you have no friends, think of friendship. Think of what friendship feels like. Imagine having a friend and really feel that reality. Really let that reality sink in. Really let that flourish, because that is where you need to be, because that's going to create the energy, that's going to create the frequency that you need to be in to attract these experiences to you, because like attracts like. If you are in the vibration of lack and poverty and feeling sorry for yourself, that is what you will attract. But if you are in the vibration of wealth, abundance, beauty, compassion, love, and friendship, that's what you'll attract. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this training. I think that this is a very important training. We're going to be working on day 3 of my energy healing workshop, we're going to be activating the energies to embody self-love and self-worth, to attract true abundance to ourselves, and to just really step into our own power. So if you are not signed up for that 3-day workshop, it is a free workshop that's going to be hosted in this group. If you're not signed up for that, or if you don't have the information for that, comment workshop below this video and I'll send you the link to the event, because obviously if you're here, you should already be in the group. And I put these videos everywhere, so whatever. If you're in this group and you have not signed up for the event, or you're not going to the event, or you don't know about the event, comment workshop below and I'll send you the details for my free 3-day energy healing event. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a free event. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be pure meditation and energy healing. So it's going to be a very relaxing and hopefully a really profound event. So if you guys are not already a part of that, make sure you comment workshop below and I will send you the details to make sure that you are attending the workshop that's coming up weekend. So not this weekend, obviously, but the next weekend. So we've got like a week. Actually, it starts a week from yesterday. So it starts next Thursday. So we're going to get that going. So I'm super excited for it. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you thought about today's training. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if it was helpful, give me your feedback. I love your feedback. Your feedback really helps me to know if I'm on the right track, if I'm helping you guys, if this is what you need. I want to make sure that I'm not boring you guys, I'm exciting you guys, and I'm inspiring you guys to go do great things, because you guys deserve great things, and I love each and every one of you. Light and love, and I'll see you guys soon.